Luck is unpredictable and may await you just about anywhere. It saves lives of some people, helps others to find a treasure or perform a record-breaking maneuver. And that's far from everything it can do. See for yourself by watching this video until the end. This pilot got distracted while dropping off fire retardant and did not notice a hill right in front of him. He managed to pull up the plane at the very last moment. And this pilot flew a few inches away from a highliner and a motorcyclist. This whale was just chasing a school of fish and accidentally took 2 women in a kayak with it. Fortunately, it quickly spit them out, leaving them unscathed. Here's one of the moments why you shouldn't go outside during a hurricane. And this snowboarder stopped mere millimeters from a cliff's edge. Imagine if that piece of metal went further than the windshield. These skydivers are performing an incredibly dangerous jump, masterfully avoiding crashing into buildings. But that's not all. A cyclist was crossing the road and suddenly, this flying car with a driver without a license miraculously avoided him. The truck driver didn't notice a scooter and moved forward, dragging it for 6 meters. He stopped after hearing a strange noise. Thankfully, the woman riding the scooter only had minor injuries and took responsibility for the accident. We wonder if this dog realized what it had just narrowly escaped. After penetrating the glass, the pipe went in only a couple of centimeters away from the driver and passenger of a taxi. Later, the manager of the group of workers paid a $156 fine to the taxi driver. This girl had a panic attack underwater. She ripped off her breathing equipment and could have drowned if there wasn't an experienced diving instructor nearby. He helped her get back to the surface. In the last video, we showed you how some lucky people can score without even looking at the basketball hoop. But what do you think of this shot, made by a guy balancing on a slack line? And this chunk of cement went flying after an explosion at a cement factory nearby. It fell a meter away from a car and nearly smashed it. This guy stuffed a fridge with tannerite. And now you are seeing a backflip at the height of 80 meters. Imagine what would have happened to this young man if he slowed down for even a second. And this guy won't let anyone go hungry. And here's fishing Chinese style. This reckless longboarder is racing through the oncoming lane and nearly crashes into a scooter. The driver of this car narrowly misses an airplane that failed to reach the desired altitude and lost control. The pilot instructor and his student, who were occupying the plane, were not harmed. And now you can place your bets. Will this Chinese driver manage to get across the deep trench? And this waitress must have suddenly remembered about the tips. This person is running as fast as they can to escape from a high-voltage tower, falling just feet away from them. As a result of a landslide, a huge part of a cliff came crashing down, almost on top of some tourists. 7 people received minor injuries, although it could have been a lot worse. Diver John Gleason planned to perform a beautiful jump from a height of 155 feet, but accidentally did a backflip which put his life in danger. Just listen to the sounds of the impact. But luckily for him, it ended well. Can you trust your friends this much? This pilot made a critical error during the setup of his hang glider, which caused his harness to separate from his wing during the flight. He had to hold on to the control frame with his hands, carrying his body weight. He performed an emergency landing and only sustained minor injuries when really he could have been killed. Sometimes luck can accidentally fly into a glass of beer, as it happened with a Carolina Mudcats fan. And sometimes all it takes is moving your foot at the right moment. Watch this BMXer land on a spiked fence. Perhaps one day he'll be able to perform the same quadruple backflip as the professional freestyle athlete Brandon Schmidt.
This one's pretty important.
One of these 2 brothers turned out to be more lucky, by 0.001 seconds. And now you're seeing 2 regular Irish guys impersonating Conor McGregor on the streets of Dublin, when all of a sudden, McGregor himself rolls up in the passenger seat of a Cadillac. This woman lost her shoe, but at least she stayed alive. And this girl must have had some next-level instincts. And here's why you should cross the pedestrian crossing walking, not riding. Here's an incredible moment when a diver moves his foot seconds before it would have been bitten off by a shark. And this is a surprising encounter between diver Nikki Brady and a tiger shark. And an incredible moment when the girl carefully touches the predator's nose to direct it away from her. And this girl escaped a wheel that must have come from Mad Max. British collector Nick Mead bought a tank for £30,000 and found £2 million worth of gold bars in its fuel tank. Presumably, this gold was stolen by the Iraqi soldiers in Kuwait during the Gulf War in the early 90s. The gold was taken by the police for analysis, leaving Nick with a receipt. It's unclear whether he ever got it back. But we know what you should do to get rich. Subscribe to our channel and you'll be much luckier than the subjects of our video.